This morning, Secretary Napolitano announced new actions my administration will take to mend our nation's immigration policy, to make it more fair, more efficient, and more just, specifically for certain young people, sometimes called dreamers. Now, these are young people who study in our schools, they play in our neighborhoods, they're friends with our kids, they pledge allegiance to our flag. They are Americans in their heart, in their minds, in every single way but one, on paper.
That was the president this past Friday announcing changes to the nation's immigration procedures, specifically when it comes to the deportation of children who were illegally brought to this country by their parents. In short here, kids brought here as kids without a big step in it, about 800,000 when you add it all up that would have been deported, now won't be. But the interesting part of the debate, and we've had that before, not just the facts of it, is how the president went about doing this. It was via executive order, something he can do when it comes to policies and procedures of the executive branch, and something he had to do as an end round around a Congress here that frankly is in a lame duck kind of mood here, Andrew, from now through pretty much the end of the calendar year. Now, we took this one step further and said, all right, well, what if he did this on other stuff? Well, what'd you find?
Well, and we're looking for things that would ignite the base and would possibly generate revenue and maybe even box in the GOP. We got 5 possibilities. All would be legal under executive order. They would do all these things: boost the economy, energize the base, and probably anger a few conservatives, Howard, and Republicans as well. First up, accelerated citizenship. On your screen is how and what the president could do. New Americans and Latino voters would love it. Opposing it would make the GOP seem even more anti-immigrant. Next, you could build a border wall. Latinos likely would not like this, but going against his base could make the president look better to border state independent voters. Opposing it would force Republicans to object to a policy many have been pushing for. He could declare a transportation emergency and use Transportation Department funds to start work on fixing or replacing outdated bridges, highways, train lines, airports, the air traffic control system, and more. If the GOP opposes, they become the party of potholes. Same things with an executive order to improve the nation's weather tracking and data system. Current system is aging. Everybody likes more accurate forecasts. You oppose it, you become painted as anti-science. And finally, a holdover from the last segment, medical marijuana. The president could simply tell the Justice Department to stop raiding and prosecuting legal distribution centers in states where it's allowed. Doing so would certainly energize portions of the president's base, Rich.
I'm not sure that last one would fly, but I knew you'd go there anyway, Andrew. All right, let me do the wall idea, all right? Lately, if it's sunny out and the president says, oh, look how nice a day it is, Republicans say, he's wrong, it's raining. Okay, it's just such a toxic atmosphere right now. Forget about what side you're on. They can't agree on anything. So if the president went out and said, you know what, I'm going to put people to work sitting on the sidelines. I'm going to build a fence here because I'm your border security guy. And we'll put X million people all of a sudden sitting on idle hands. Would Republicans say, great idea, Mr. President, we're all behind you? Or would they say, again, big government here, the president going too far, let the private industry do it more efficiently?
Well, I would hope that if he does something which appears to be right, that we say, all right, you're finally doing something right. But I don't know how the imaginary conservative Republicans that Andrew's talking about would twist this around to now
Dominic,
say.
I think we're onto something. He had to think really hard about how do I give him a hard time for this one.
But as I say, something that we had been saying should be the precursor to any comprehensive immigration reform.
What about it, though? Politically, how does this play? He builds bridges.
It doesn't work.
You put shovel-ready projects going.
It doesn't work. You can go on for each one. It doesn't work. And the reason why it doesn't work, if you think partisanship is a problem now, imagine when he really needs the Republican-led Congress down the road.
They're not agreeing with him anyway. Well, it's like, when do you think in your lifetime Senator McConnell is going to say, hey, come over here. Okay, let me give you a big one, right? It's never going to happen.
I agree with you. But if you think it's possible to do this, why do you think he hasn't been more proactive in doing exactly what your point is?
Because he's afraid of coming across as the great compromiser here. And Andrew, if he just says, hey, I think this is good for America. Get on board with me or get out of the way. Does it work?
It would certainly lead to a big fight. It would certainly pitch him as being more proactive on these things, but would certainly, I think he runs the risk of igniting a firestorm among some independent voters. I'm not so sure that the benefit outweighs the risk.
Well, I guess I'm the only one who says I think he wins, and it's not the marijuana one they threw in, but
I also
everything
worry
else.
about a future, like President Palin outlaw or doing executive orders that sends me to Gitmo. So,
Well, I don't know if we're opposed to that, but